Imagine waking up and the entire internet thinks you smashed a woman in the face with a brick. Strangers hunting you, your life in danger, all because of a lie. This isn't a movie. This happened. And today, we're breaking down the shocking truth. On September 3rd, 2023, a group of guys decided to hit the Houston nightlife scene, bringing a few women along to enjoy the evening. They secured a VIP section, relaxing and soaking in the energy of the club. Among them was Mr. Olin Douglas, who happened to notice a woman who immediately caught his attention. She was confident, eye-catching, and carried herself in a way that stood out. Captivated by her presence, he couldn't help but wonder what his next move should be.
From there, I asked her if she wanted to come sit down in my section. She came over to sit down in the section. Well, no, she came over, but she said these ladies need to move if I was to sit here. They need to move. So for me to come here, they all need to leave. And then I said, well, I guess you're going to have to stand up then. And then that was it. Never spoke to her, talked to her. I don't know who she is. This is really random.
He figured he'd handle the situation the way most men do in that environment, by inviting her to join the group and enjoy the VIP section. But things took a turn. She wasn't interested in sharing the space with the other women already there. Instead, she made it clear, if she was coming over, the other ladies needed to move. He stood firm, telling her calmly, "They're not going anywhere. If that's how you feel, you can head out." And with that, he thought the moment had passed, but the night wasn't over. Outside the club, Roa Osman approached him and suddenly got into it with one of the women from his group. As he attempted to head to an after-hours spot, the situation escalated. She turned her attention toward him and started swinging. He eventually managed to break free and leave, assuming the drama was behind him. That is, until September 5th, 2025, when he woke up to find himself going viral. And everything changed from there.
I never did anything in my life to hurt anybody. Literally, a man asked me for my number. I said no, and he picked up a brick in front of so many men and was like, "What you gonna do?" And I told all these men, like, "Yo, why this man got a brick on my face?" And he's holding a brick, and all these niggas watching, and nobody does nothing. And he hit me in my face, and then they're all just.
Roa Osman later took to social media, claiming that Olin Douglas had struck her in the face with a brick and insisted no one stepped in to help her. According to Douglas, this accusation came days after the initial nightclub encounter, and he denied ever laying a hand on her. While her face did appear swollen in videos, there were no cuts, bruising patterns, or other marks typically associated with being hit by a heavy object like a brick. Still, the internet reacted fast, and before long, Douglas found himself targeted, threatened, and terrified for his safety. In the midst of the online frenzy, content creator Daphne, known on YouTube as the Queen of Accountability, began raising doubts. She felt something about the story wasn't adding up. The stakes were serious. Douglas is a father, and Osman's claim placed him in real danger. Online mobs were ready to retaliate, believing he had attacked her. Meanwhile, Osman received public sympathy and even raised $42,000 in donations fueled by her allegation. All while many voices online broadly blamed black men for violence against black women, with TikTok creator Conscious Lee publicly supporting her version of events. But Daphne didn't stop at skepticism. She continued digging and uncovered something critical. Osman had pulled a very similar stunt in Minnesota back in 2020, claiming another man attacked her, and she collected money from that incident as well. Daphne showed receipts, posting the old scam online. That evidence triggered police involvement, ultimately contributing to Osman being found guilty for the earlier fraud. Even Osman's former friend, Rachel Moe, eventually confirmed the truth, revealing she had witnessed the 2020 scheme firsthand. She admitted she never reported it at the time, believing she was supporting a friend, a decision that, in hindsight, allowed history to repeat itself. Authorities eventually arrested Osman in 2024 in Houston, marking the unraveling of her narrative. But instead of showing remorse, she continued living lavishly, even traveling to Jamaica and spending the donation money, never offering an apology or acknowledging wrongdoing. Instead, she kept talking, doubling down instead of taking accountability.
People ask me, how do I deal with the constant bullying online? It's actually quite simple.
All I gotta do is consider the source. Because these are the people that would have sold us into slavery. These are the same people that Harriet Tubman would not just leave behind. She would have had to pew-pew their ass. They would have infiltrated the Black Panther Party and probably set up Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And every time we have a current advancement of black people, here they are, doing a disruption. They spent their whole online presence and activity just bullying black people, exploiting us, and quite frankly, embarrassing us. I know when you go viral, you neither have a past or a future. In a lot of people's heads, you're just that moment and you never leave there. But I know the extensive work that I've done to advocate for the black community, and my character stands for itself. These people don't really care about black folks because they only punch down on people that they see a perceived lack of consequence. And using white supremacist tactics on me when I studied black studies to a doctoral level is actually...
Things took another turn when Roa Osman, who is Somali American, began responding to critics online. Anyone questioning her story, she claimed, was the type of person who would have sold their own people into slavery. The irony wasn't lost on many, considering Somali Americans did not experience chattel slavery in the United States. She continued by comparing those calling her out to individuals who once sabotaged the Black Panthers, betrayed civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, and preyed upon the black community. This rhetorical approach is familiar within certain pro-black spaces online, using historical struggle as a shield against accountability. In essence, she placed herself beside legendary figures of black liberation, implying that her critics were enemies of black progress. The comparison was extreme and frankly absurd because her situation had nothing to do with the civil rights movement and everything to do with falsifying an assault claim. Still, Roa doubled down. She filmed emotional videos insisting she needed support because she was a mother, student, and full-time worker fighting alone. She claimed to have provided investigators with incriminating evidence, even a supposed confession, and accused authorities of ignoring her while responding to agents of chaos, who didn't care about her case. According to her, the system was punishing her not because she lied, but because she dared to speak. She framed herself as a silenced champion for oppressed genders, and argued that critics were profiting from black women's pain. In her narrative, she wasn't being questioned for dishonesty. She was being attacked for advocating change. She continued insisting she was the real victim, saying the police weren't helping her, that her social media was mass reported to shut her down, and that she had all the receipts proving the truth. She promised she wouldn't be silenced, attempting to rally supporters around a struggle that didn't exist, but reality eventually caught up. Roa Osman had already been exposed for running a similar scam in Minnesota back in 2020, where she falsely accused another man of assault and collected money. Once evidence from that case surfaced, and even her old friend confirmed what happened, the truth became undeniable. Fast forward, she was arrested in Houston, and the outcome was decisive. A jury found her guilty of theft related to the fabricated brick attack story. She was sentenced to 10 years of probation, required to spend 90 days in jail, undergo substance abuse treatment, repay the Madons, $42,000 she raised, and, in a rare and fitting consequence, she was banned from social media for an entire decade. Even after being banned from social media for an entire decade as part of her probation terms, accounts associated with Roa Osman continued to appear online, suggesting she still attempted to maintain a digital presence. On the surface, this might look like nothing more than someone resisting the urge to disconnect. But in reality, for someone under strict legal supervision, it carries heavy implications. Violating the terms of probation is not a trivial matter. It could transform a sentence meant to allow rehabilitation into one that results in up to 10 years behind bars. This alone highlights the seriousness of the situation and serves as a reminder that consequences persist long after the public's attention shifts elsewhere. Yet beyond the legal angle lies a deeper, more socially charged dimension. This case is not simply about one accusation and one verdict. It speaks to broader conversations about social dynamics, public trust, community protection, and the delicate balance required when navigating claims of violence, especially those that touch on race and gender in the Black community. There is no denying that violence against women exists and remains a deeply urgent issue. Women deserve to be heard, supported, and protected when they say they have been harmed, and society has a responsibility to take such reports seriously. But at the same time, false accusations, even if statistically rare, carry devastating consequences. They do not merely target an individual. They strike at the credibility of true victims and at the emotional trust needed between men and women in marginalized communities. In this situation, the false claim did not just threaten one man. It threatened to reinforce harmful stereotypes about Black men, a population already disproportionately judged, punished, and, historically speaking, placed in danger when accused of harming women. A false allegation can destroy reputations in moments, shatter employment prospects, break family bonds, and sometimes lead to physical danger or death, long before facts are verified. And while an apology may come later, in many cases it never does, the damage rarely reverses with equal force. What's more, situations like this do additional harm by planting seeds of skepticism toward women who truly need help. When someone manipulates sympathy to serve personal gain, they do not merely commit a personal moral failure. They contribute to a culture of doubt that genuine victims may face later. It also exposes another troubling trend we see more often in social media culture today: the strategic use of activist language as a defense shield. In recent years, as conversations about race, gender, oppression, and empowerment have gained momentum, many people have embraced the vocabulary of liberation movements. Some do so from sincere conviction, while others adopt the rhetoric as a suit of armor, invoking history, struggle, and collective pain in an attempt to escape personal accountability. We saw that play out here, where the language of Black liberation, feminist protection, and systemic injustice was invoked not to address real oppression, but to dismiss critics and reframe accountability as persecution. This tactic is harmful because it confuses activism with manipulation and turns community trust into a tool rather than a value. Within the Black community especially, where unity and trust are essential for survival and progress, such behavior creates cracks in the foundation. When someone weaponizes cultural struggle narratives for personal defense, it forces community members into suspicion, second-guessing one another, and hesitating to offer support the next time someone cries out for help. It encourages gender divides, turning Black men and Black women into adversaries instead of allies, and weakens real social justice efforts by blurring the line between genuine advocacy and performative protection. In the long run, these tactics do not advance liberation. They undermine it. What makes this case even more instructive, though, is the way the truth ultimately surfaced. It wasn't only legal institutions that identified the deception. It was members within the community, including Black women, who demanded honesty and accountability. They proved that supporting women does not mean blindly defending all claims, and that advocating for justice requires truth as a foundation. True solidarity is not blind loyalty. It is a commitment to fairness, integrity, and the protection of everyone in the community. And when lies are confronted, exposed, and corrected, the entire community benefits, because truth strengthens unity while deceit fractures it. In the end, this case stands as a powerful reminder that we must protect victims, but we must also protect truth. False accusations do not advance progress, they stall it. They don't build community, they corrode it. They don't protect women, they endanger both women and men by breeding mistrust. The fight against violence, injustice, and inequality is too important to allow manipulation and dishonesty to cloud it. When we maintain integrity in our pursuit of justice, when we challenge falsehood as firmly as we condemn real harm, we create a stronger foundation for everyone. Real progress is built not only on advocacy, but also on accountability. And in moments like this, we are reminded that both are necessary if we hope to build a community rooted in trust, fairness, and real protection for those who truly need it.
I'm asking for support because I cannot do this by myself. I'm a full-time mother, I'm a full-time student, and I'm a full-time employee. And I have done everything I can to reach out to get an investigator, get all the information. I've pretty much done everything for them, including giving them a confession video of this man saying that he assaulted me and that he does not care. And they've had that video since the week before Thanksgiving, and they have not done anything about it. They have not moved forward in the case, and they won't respond to me. I have left over 20 voicemails, over 20 emails, and guess what? They respond to people who have nothing to do with this case. People who don't even live in Houston and don't care and are just agents of chaos. And why are they doing this? It's because they want to tone police against all of us because they want all gendered oppressed people to know that if you ever speak out, you will be punished, and you'll be punished badly. And this will determine how we move forward. And they don't want this change, because if this change happens, what are they going to do? Because these people have made careers, money, and whole platforms off of Black women pain.
Thankfully, individuals like Daphne, widely known online as the Queen of Accountability, decided not to sit quietly and watch misinformation grow unchecked. At a time when people were ready to believe the most dramatic version of events without question, she chose to investigate, question inconsistencies, and speak up despite the backlash. Her actions highlight the importance of community members holding each other to standards of integrity, especially in an era where viral narratives can eclipse facts almost instantly. It is easy for false stories to spread when emotions are high, and it is even easier for someone to become a target before the truth has a chance to surface. Without individuals like her willing to say, "Wait, something here does not add up," the situation may have unraveled in a very different and potentially tragic direction had no one pushed back. The consequences for Olin Douglas could have been catastrophic. Reputations can be destroyed long before investigations conclude. Once the public forms an opinion, it is incredibly difficult to undo the damage. In some cases, lives are altered forever by allegations alone. That reality underscores why vigilance matters, because silence in the face of falsehoods can unintentionally aid in harming innocent people. When a narrative spreads unchecked, especially one invoking violence and identity, the risk is not just social, it can become physical and legal as well. In the end, this case stands as a powerful reminder of balance. Support real victims, but also uphold truth. Believing victims and protecting the vulnerable are crucial goals, but so is ensuring accusations are rooted in reality. False allegations do not uplift communities. They fracture trust within them. They create doubt where there should be confidence and fuel fear where there should be unity. When truth is abandoned, nobody wins. Justice cannot thrive without honesty, and community cannot flourish where suspicion replaces solidarity. True advocacy means protecting those harmed and refusing to let deception harm others.